Hi everyone, I'm Maricia and this is
Michelle Sia.
and today we are here with Miss Lopez, who is a student at USM and she is majoring in biology. Miss Lopez, we're so honored to have you here today.
Thank you so much for the invitation.
So could you tell us a little bit about your major?
All right, so I did my major in biology in Colombia. I am from Colombia. And I did my master's in entomology. And now I'm doing my PhD here at USM, also in biological sciences, but working with insects. So it's basically entomology.
So what
So,
Oh, go ahead.
so how did you get started in this field of biology that you're in?
Well, I think that it was like a passion. I never thought I would study something different. Since I was a girl, I like nature in outdoors. I like the animals, so I wanted to be marine biology, but I am from the mountain, so it's not a place where you can do marine biology. You need to go to the coast. So the closest thing was biology. And when I started biology, I took the invertebrate course, and then I fell in love with the insects. So I changed my mind and I keep that way, but with it, not with marine biology.
So what made you go on to further get a PhD?
Well, it was kind of a life goal. Um, in my mind was always like to get my master's, to get my PhD. It took me time because in between I started to work. So when you start to work, you kind of like forget sometimes of those things. So it took me like a gap of 5 years, but um, it was a personal goal. So when I felt like ready again, I was like, okay, I gotta go and chase that goal. It's a personal goal. It's something that I want to be. Um, Also, like in the research things, STEM, and these careers, it's really good like to go a bit forward, not just the undergrad. So maybe like try some masters, and if you like it enough, the academia and the research, try the PhD. Because you will miss wonderful things if you just only stay with the undergrad.
So if you hadn't gotten and went to go get your PhD, then what job would you have gotten?
Well, I don't know, honestly. I think that it's not just the title that you have, it's like what places do you look for, what things that you really like, and that will help you like to get jobs in several things. I have friends that they only had their undergrad, but they really like what they do, and they have jobs that would make them happy. I want research jobs, so that's why I was pursuing my PhD and my master's, um, because I really want to be like totally prepared for research jobs, and for those type of things you need the masters and the PhD. So that's why what I'm aiming here, like research jobs.
So you mentioned that you went into the workforce for 5 years before you came back to get your PhD, right?
Yeah, like I finished my masters and I worked for 5 years and then I started my PhD.
What was the job that you had then?
Well, I worked for the entomology project. It's called World Mosquito Program, so it's like a global initiative to try to tackle one of these diseases that are in the tropics, like dengue. Um, so these diseases are suffered mostly for poor people because they don't have the resources to go to the doctor. They don't have like good places where they live. So all these factors make them more vulnerable to these diseases, and there is not too much attention about it. So I was working in this global project that is attempting to reduce the rates of dengue. So of course I was in Colombia, so I was like in Colombia, in the Colombia place, but this is like a global thing, like in all the tropical countries. And my task was basically identifying the mosquitoes. So I was like the head of the taxonomic lab. And what we used to do that was doing research, but for a private company, like trying to identify mosquitoes and tackle like all these issues that you come with a project. So that was my work there.
So now that you're a PhD student, have you ever gone to like other countries to do research or any projects?
Well, I am currently working with some tropical ants that are called army ants. These ants are nomads and they are predators of the tropical rainforest. So, of course, I cannot do that here. I gotta go to a tropical rainforest. So I travel to Costa Rica every summer to collect my database. So I like it. The PhD thesis dissertation has different chapters, like different goals, different objectives. And every summer I go and I try to tackle one of those objectives, like taking the data for that in Costa Rica.
So you were able to experience both the workforce and also as a student in the field of biology. So what are some differences and the pros and cons of each side?
Oof, well, from my point of view, I would say like academy is amazing. Um, it allows you to learn, to connect with a lot of people that is doing also other amazing things. It allows you to basically like wonder about the things that are around you, propose things, answer questions. So that part is great, but it requires like a lot of time and commitment. So in academy, you don't have like a schedule to say so. Um, you just like have to work for your goals, and that might imply weekends, holidays, or like schedules that you don't kind of like. If you don't like it, you will feel tired or bored or stressed. So that's like a hard part of academy, and of course you have to be always like updated with everything, like about your field of work. So you gotta know the authors and have read the papers and constantly like producing papers and things like that because that's why you need time. In the private side of like workforce, um, you don't connect too much. Like you are just like in your position and maybe with your coworkers, but there is no like global networks or things that you can do like when like as you doing research. Um, but you basically have a schedule and you can just like let your work in the place and just go home and do something different and come back at the other day. So it depends on like what are your goals, where are you working, what do you like to do. You can feel like really great and happy doing just research or just doing like workforce like regular.
What is your favorite project that you've done?
Wow, that's a hard question. Like I don't know. Like the one I'm doing now is really amazing. It has given me the opportunity to meet Costa Rica, to meet a lot of people in Costa Rica. That is a beautiful country. My aunts, I love them. There are days that are challenging because these ants are nomads. So basically, you gotta chase them over the forest. So some days you can get tired, you can get exhausted, but it's amazing to see them, to find them, to take the notes about them. So I really like this project, but I cannot say that I have like a favorite one. Like every project has a different reward. So, for example, I worked with ants in mangroves in Colombia, and that was a really nice project, but also was beautiful because there was like the outcome of the project was going to help the community to build a tourism project in their mangroves. So it was like, okay, they want to get to know what is happening there because they want to bring tourists and explain how this ecosystem works. So that was nice, like that you know that with your science, you're helping other people.
So how do you overcome like the challenges? Because I mean, I could imagine that it could be really hard because as you said, you're like chasing ants across the forest. So do you have any tips to how to overcome challenges?
Well, like when you do when you do any type of project like in research, like before even to start the project, you got a plan, right? So you do like a methodology, like where you said like, okay, this is how I think that I will do things, and this is what I'm gonna need, and this is the time that I'm gonna use. So that is like your master plan, and you started like a baseline. So you started with that one, but of course, things are gonna happen. So you need to be prepared. So like being even like thinking in different scenarios, something sometimes like thinking one or two bad scenarios and like what things would you need if those scenarios would happen. You know, so for example, like okay, I'm going out today, I'm gonna search for my ants and I bet that I'm gonna find them and I'll be back here at 1 p.m. But think in the better scenario, like if you're not gonna find them fast. So what do I need? Maybe like taking water, taking something for food, you know? Um, get like your GPS and your phone like well charged, maybe because you're gonna take longer in the forest and you're gonna need them. Um, so if it happens, you're prepared. If it doesn't happen, it's okay. But like the point is that when something happens, uh, the best is like to be prepared and also asking for help and receive help of others. Like no research it can be done. It can be done just like by one person. Honestly, like there is people who like to do that, but I feel that it's better when you work with others, when you ask for help and you receive help. So sometimes like an advice, a recommendation, like the local people will know more about the place than you, regardless how much you have checked the map and how much you have read about the place. Like always listen to local people. If they tell you like, don't go that way, it's gonna be hard. Don't be like, oh no, I am the researcher and you're not. No, no, like, okay, I'm gonna listen to you, what you're saying, you're giving me one advice and I'm gonna take it and that way I'm gonna succeed and also like just receiving like random help sometimes helps a lot. Like in my last field season, I was looking for my ants, and it's an exhausting thing. So there were moments in the day that I was like stopping and recovering. So usually like around 11 p.m. I was like going to sleep, but once talking, I told someone what I was doing, and he used to go on the nights to search for his animals that were reptiles. So at some point, he started like to send me pictures of the ants that he was seeing like during his walks, and he actually helped me to find one of the rarest species that I need to find because he was out there, and I was already told him like, hey, if you see them, just please let me know. And suddenly, at some point, a lot of the people of the station, of like the research station where I worked, they started to send me photos and videos like, hey, are those your ants? Like we saw them in this point. We saw these ones in this point. So in some moment of the field season, there was like 6 or 7 people helping me to find my ants. Like not directly, but they were doing their thing and like helping me to find them. So receiving help and asking for help is very important.
So, especially like receiving help, you can learn a lot of life lessons from just school and like your majors, like especially STEM majors. We can learn a lot of problem solving skills, or like you said, listening to others, and all of these life skills that come with not only education but also like the different types of majors there are.
Yes, definitely. It's a thing that you will gonna develop with the time, maybe with some experience that you're gonna have, but also your major influence a lot. Like some majors, the people think that they are like they gotta be like, oh no, I cannot receive help because that will make me look like that or less competent to do my thing. But it's not true. At least that's what I think. Like if we help each other, we're gonna succeed. We're gonna make it faster. You know, so there are things that you learn in life. You said like, oh, I should have listened this person. I should have listened that. But there are other things that you're like, okay, maybe it's like it's because in my career they told me that I have to do it by myself. Women too, like we we have struggled with so much things in life that sometimes we don't like to repeat though because we want to show everyone that we are able to do everything by ourselves and we are capable of doing it. But it's not bad if you help, like receiving help of other women, other men, other people. Um, it's good because that way you're gonna succeed. So it's gonna be like better, faster, and probably you're gonna learn so much more things of the other people too. Like every person is a universe of advices and uh, things that will help you to achieve.
Hmm.
Yes, and I think that asking for help is not just you can get the answers to the problems that you're trying to solve, but I also think that it can kind of build like a friendship between you and that person that you're asking for help. Because maybe one time you ask them for help, and then the next time they ask you for help, and then you can help them. So it's kind of like a back and forth thing, which I think is so amazing.
Yeah, I like to think that life is like a chain of favors, So maybe with the same person, you're gonna pay back the favor, or maybe with a total different person. So maybe someday you are the one that needs the advice, that needs the help, that needs that direction. But another day, another person is gonna ask you like to do it. Like, hey, is this a place where I should go? What do you think about this methodology? What do you think that do you think that I should do these things in my project? And like offering like an honest and a warming help, it's it's the same thing that you want to receive. So it's more like I like to believe that it's like a chain of favors. So someone is gonna help you and you're gonna help someone. You never know when. And maybe those people can get in your friends, can become in your friends. I have very good friends in distant crazy places because they helped me once in life and we stay in touch because I am very grateful with them.
So during your research time, so when you go to other countries and study, where do you study or like where do you do your research in other countries?
Well, in Costa Rica, I have worked in a research station that is called La Selva. It's in a tropical rainforest, like in the central valley of the country. Last time I went to the north of the country to a national park that is called Guanacaste. It's a dry forest, so a total different ecosystem. The most amazing ecosystem I've ever been. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It's very endangered, very delicate, but it's beautiful. And well, in Colombia, I've been in very like different places. I have I am very grateful because thanks to my major, I have get the chance to meet my own country. Like I still have a lot of places where to go, but I have met like really beautiful places in my country and in Costa Rica.
Yeah, so like STEM and research and your job or being a student, it doesn't always have to mean sitting in a lab and doing work. You also got to do a lot of traveling, and I think a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, I mean, like it depends what you like and what you choose. Like you can dedicate to laboratory work, like molecular, genetics, those branches of the things, at least in biology, will keep you more in lab than in the field. But I really like field, so I choose that, and that the my major had to me to these amazing places and also to other places because like you can go to conferences, so there are national or international conferences. So I've been in Europe, I've been in other countries, just like taking what I have done, like what I have done for my research, and like taking it there and share with others.
So you can also do a lot of collaboration in research and like getting information from other scientists and working together.
Yes, and again. At least from my opinion, that is really important. Like, because sometimes you don't have all the skills that you need to write a paper or to analyze some data, or you are really good like doing the field part, but not the lab part maybe, or the statistic part. So when you work with others, like when you do collaborations, the things are gonna be way, way more better than just you trying to do everything. So like last year, we started to write a paper with my advisor, with Dr. Rodier. So it was again like a chain of things. So she got data that she was not being able to process because she's very busy. So she gave me those data and she was like, analyze them and tell me if there is something there that is good, like about this topic. I took these data for this reason. So check them, analyze them. I did it. And then we started to write a paper, but the two of us were not the only ones who were involved because we needed like other people to help us to identify some ends that we couldn't do it, some people to help us to do different statistical analysis that I didn't know how to do it. So at the end, it was like 6 people working in this, and we did a really, at least for me, a really cool paper that it was published just like January. So that's how science, like good science works. Like you might not know everything, but you can contact someone, and that person, if it's ethically um, correct and a good research too, it's gonna like a good researcher, sorry, it's gonna work with you, and you're gonna share responsibility, and you're gonna share authorship, and you're gonna do a better product than just you like doing something by yourself.
Yeah, so you're basically adding each other's strengths together to make a more amazing, a more talented piece of work and research.
Yeah, I mean, like picture, like okay, you can learn the skills, so you can say like, okay, I don't know how to do this, but I'm gonna learn how to do it. But that will take you time. That will take you like investment, like maybe like equipment or things, or like going to somewhere else to do it. But what if you contact someone that really knows how to do it, and that person will teach you how to do it? So it's different that you try to learn something by yourself. But contact the one that knows, and that person help you. Okay, this is gonna work. I'm gonna teach you how to do it. I'm gonna show you how to make that. So you can do both things. You can learn by yourself, but it's gonna take you more time. Or you can find someone that knows how to do it, that is valuable, and that is willing to help you. And you're gonna learn those skills in a better way, in a fast way, and that will be more efficient.
Yes, so I think that you can learn so many skills, not just researching about the topic that you like, but also, for example, asking for help or like collaboration. And all those skills I think are so important, not in just school and like the workforce, but also in life.
Yeah, definitely. Because, like the profession that you choose, it kind of also starts to define at some point your personality. It's not everything what you are, but it's a main part. So if you're a person that gets used to do partnerships, that asking advices, but also giving advices, like asking for help and getting help, that is also become like a part of your personality. So it's gonna be a person that is gonna think how to solve things. That is gonna not gonna be like, oh no, I cannot tell anyone about this. No, because that person is doing that in his work, so he's able to say like, oh, I got this problem. Do you think that there is a way that I can solve it? Or hey, I see that you have a problem. Do you need some help? So it will become like part of your personality too. Like those skills are not just for the
So you said that you've always had a passion for STEM and especially biology, and you've always known what you wanted to be as a kid. And like that is amazing, but like a lot of people like I know, especially those who are going to college and trying to choose their majors, they don't really know what they want to choose. and they often feel deterred by STEM fields because of gender stereotypes or standards. So, what would you say to those people?
Well, like yeah, it's a thing, like the issue that STEM fields with a lot of people have this in mind that STEM fields are not for women. So like that we are not capable or that we should just do something different, like go and do something that makes you, or like, oh, you're not gonna make enough money, or that is gonna be too hard. So no, you need time for other things. Um, so my advice is like first listen to yourself. I know that those are really hard decisions to take when you're in high school because basically like you're finishing your high school and you gotta decide what you're gonna do. Sometimes, well, we don't know. So first listen to yourself. Try to change the things that likes you, that makes you happy, because like even if you're in research or if you're in workforce, whatever you're gonna do, in some point it might get like hard, difficult. And if you don't enjoy and love enough what you're doing, it's gonna be really, really hard to overcome. So listen yourself, think on the things that you really like, things that you are good for, like for example, I loved it, like a lot of beyond biology, I loved other things, but I was realistic that I am not the best with physics, for example. Physics is challenging for me. So I was like, okay, I cannot like choose an engineering, even if I kind of like a lot because I know that I struggle on like a lot of this, but I like the nature, I like the animal. So why don't just like go over there? I had to deal with physics anyway in my undergrad, but it was a physics that I was kind of like choose because it was like in my career. So when you listen to yourself, when you listen what you really like, it's easier to make the decision. Also, like, what if you change? Like we have like a life plan technically that you gotta keep in mind, like what you want to achieve, um, what are the goals in your life. But sometimes like life is gonna change. Like plans that you had for today, it might not be the plans that you're gonna have in 10 years. Because life change, things happen, like good things happen, crazy things happen sometimes, and that might make you change your mind. And that is, I know a lot of people that they are happy because they listen to those things that happen. Like, oh, I'm really struggling to get my major in biology, and I'm struggling so much. And at some point, I realized that this is not exactly what I do. I wanted to do an engineering, but I was feel like scared or afraid, or my family was feeling like that you cannot do it. I have a friend who did that. Like she started biology with me, but she was not happy being a biology because she wanted to be an engineering. But the family was like, oh no, not engineering. Engineering is for men. You're not. She chased her dream. It took her like 2 years to realize of that. So in the middle of the undergrad, she said like, you know what? I'm gonna change my dream. I'm gonna change my career. I'm gonna start an engineering. And now she's a happy engineer. Like she lives from that. She works and she really enjoys the thing. But she believes in herself. So it was like, okay, this is my goal. But maybe when I said it, it was not the best.
Yeah, so there's always changes of plans, and especially in life, and it's such a long way. So, like you said, listen to your heart, and don't be deferred by outside opinions, but rather listen to what you really want to do. Because at the end of the day, it is your life, and you're going to be living it. This is you, so you had to choose something that you really want to do. And if you feel passionate about your career, then it's going to be much easier for you to keep living it and then keep pursuing that career, right?
Yeah, definitely. And also like try to find like stamina people, like people that tells you like you can do it. Even like when you're like, oh my god, I don't know, I'm not sure if I can do it. They're gonna like, no, you can. Like we have seen what you can do, and you will do it. So that people keep it in your life. The people that tells you like you cannot do this is not for women, or this is too hard for you. Thank you so much, but no, like
Hmm.
just keep them away. Keep them just like good people, like they, and also like people to help you to grow. The people that is always like challenging you to grow and to become into a better person.
Yeah, so surround yourself with people that are going to make you feel better and not hold you back.
Yeah.
Hi, well, thank you so much, Ms. Lopez, for talking to us and taking your time to explain not just what you do in your career, but also like life tips in general as well. That was really inspiring, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so
No,
much. Yeah.
thanks to you both for the invitation. Keep doing this, and I hope that you'll be very happy with the decisions that you take.
Thank you so much.